So, Zach.
Yep.
So if I grab these, it's going to write the automation?
Okay. First, let me just save this so we have this just in case we make a move that we don't like. We want to go back.
I would also like to point out that apart from the Valhalla plugin that I added to the background vocals in the bridge, unless I'm forgetting something, the only reverb we're using is live natural reverb. The chamber is on the lead vocal. The plate reverb is on the piano and all the keyboard stuff, and it sounds awesome.
Okay, so now you've got your levels that you want. Just go into run mode, and that is going to allow you to make the moves.
Great.
All right, you're in there. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane roads. I can never pass them by. House numbers. House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane roads. I can never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts. 2 weeks to get off my friend's couch. Cutting it close, but I'll be fine. I think I found my dream apartment with all I ever wanted. Turned out it could have been a closet. Feels like nothing's going right. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got some where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got some where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not looking. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my I'm where I'm supposed supposed to be. Maybe
Having 251s for overheads is just the most ridiculously spoiling thing ever. So I'm pushing the overheads in the bridge because the hat has been driving the track the whole time. And then I made the genius decision to stop doing that at a point where I don't want the energy to drop. It's the bridge. And so I went to the ride cymbal, which felt fine to me because I'm like banging the ride cymbal. I can feel it. But in here, it's a dark ride cymbal intentionally. And I wasn't really hearing it. It was just all of a sudden like, where did the hi-hats go? So I knew I was playing the same pattern on the ride. And I knew that those 251s were picking that up. As soon as I turned up the overheads, there's the energy. But I have to watch out for the crashes too. Even though I'm limiting the overheads, I'm pretty sure in Pro Tools, yeah, I've got my trusty Focusrite limiting action happening on them, which is helping with the crashes. But I'm just trying to find the right level. It was too little. I just did too much. Trying to make it work.
I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not looking. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go.
Now I want to grab the little like into each chorus. And I think it happens twice in the snare, and then the last one is on the floor tom. None of them are loud enough. The floor tom needs a lot of body added to it.
Mind, I see.
So I'm going to get kind of surgical with this. A little. I want to crank that. I use ye old trusty clip gain.
And I see my lucky.
Now I just boosted that over 11 dB, and looking at the number and listening to it in solo, it's like, oh, it's way too much. But in the track, it's like it still needs to be louder. You know, it's weird. Don't get fooled by the visual.
Mind, I see my lucky. Mind, I see my lucky.
That's too much.
Mind, I see my lucky. Be I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number. My lucky. Be I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere. Be I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky. Be I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. Be I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere.
That feels good. Let's look at the next one before second chorus.
I am. I see.
Why so subtle?
My I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see my lucky. I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see.
I had to boost that little snare 20 dB before it sounded right in the mix.
I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see my lucky number. I am. I see my lucky number everywhere I go.
That sounds right to me now. Let's hear before the big chorus at the end. It's a floor tom vibe.
I see my lucky number.
That sounds weird.
I see my lucky number everywhere I go. See my I see my lucky number everywhere. 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. 19. I see my 19. I see my 19. I see my lucky number every 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear if I
want to point out one thing. I took out the vocal EQ that I added a while ago because I have added a bunch of EQ on the mix bus, which is gorgeous and was sort of doing a similar thing as to what I added to the vocal, and it just felt a bit overcooked, so I took it out and it just sounded great.
house numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I can never.
Now I'm going to pull down the live chamber to my left in the first verse because it sounds a bit too much.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I can never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where I'm. House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I can never pass them by.
Let's send some stuff to the Zener just because we can, and I love the Zener. Let's see, what would be good to send there? Let's send like quite a sort of potpourri of all things. Possibly, actually, all things.
Okay,
Yeah, let's just send everything to it.
cool.
The Zener is a really magic, crazy compressor limiter. I love all the Chandler compressors. I loved the TG1 when it came out. I still use that on my drum room mics at my studio. It's just great. It just does the perfect thing. And the Zener is like that, but also sort of like, it's like the TG1 turned into the Hulk when the Hulk gets angry. And I used to own a Zener and I sold it because I probably bought some other compressor that I sold it to fund some other thing. And actually, I remember I sold the Zener to pay for my first Antelope clock, which cost $10,000. I'm like, I don't have $10,000 to give you, Marcel. We worked out some sort of deal where the Zener became part of the package. I don't regret getting that clock, but I do miss the Zener, and we've got one here, so we're going to use it. So what I'm going to do now is loop sort of a loud section, probably the last chorus, just loop it and loop it and loop it and look at what the Zener is doing before I even start hearing it. We are sending, I think, every element to it.
I see my lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road, always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
pretty fun. For me, that's a success. I got to work with Jim Scott, who's just an amazing record maker. He's a great producer, great guy, great engineer, great mix engineer. Really experienced guy, lovely gentleman, and again, one of these guys that's very generous with all of his knowledge. So a long time ago, I got to hire him on a Michelle Branch track that I was producing. I always loved Jim's mixes on everything from Robbie Robertson's solo record to all the Chili Peppers stuff and the Foo Fighters record that he did. And he's a, beast with a real point of view. His stuff doesn't sound like anybody else. He's a real artist. When I was in the room with him and we got into, it was time to listen to the mix, I asked him, I said, are those Chili Peppers records intentionally in mono? Because I love mono and I'd love to make a record that's just all mono. And he said, and he sort of laughed. He said, I honestly wasn't trying to mix it in mono, but here's why it sounds like that. And he showed me that he had this big Neve console, sidecars, just like Neve everywhere. He said, I love the Gates stay level. He does this thing where anything that he wants to really feature in the mix, he'll send to the Gates stay level, which is a mono tube compressor from the 1950s. I said, well, what would you send to it? And he said, well, kick, snare, lead vocal, guitar, bass, pretty much everything. And he was kind of showing me what he was sending to it. And I said, well, what's it sound like if you take it out? He said, well, it sounds like this. And he muted it. And the mix collapsed. It was not subtle. It just it collapsed. And I was so inspired by that guy who could use anything, any piece of gear. He has an enormous toolbox and incredible ears. And he just loved that unit so much that it was really a massive part of that particular mix on that song. It encouraged me to be brave with this stuff and do sort of wacky things. I think that a lot of people would consider that a very eccentric move, but holy moly, it sounded great. And it just didn't sound great when the Gates was gone. So I have fun doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sending some things to the Neve 33609, but we just sent everything to the Zener compressor. And blending it in at the right level, it's really compressing a lot. I gave it a very fast release. It just adds more funk in the trunk to me. It helps more life kind of come through the speakers. It makes it sound more like what I perceive a record to sound like. So it's a fun thing to experiment with. You can do it with plugins, a luxury to do it with this analog gear on this board. I want to keep listening.
Lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts. 2 weeks to get off my friend's couch. Cutting it close, but I'll be fine. I think I found my high dream apartment with all I ever wanted. Turned out it could have been a closet. Feels like nothing's going right. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know.
So I was just messing with the Smart C2. I decided to back off the compression a bit because of what we're doing with the Zener and what's already happening with the 33609. It's more controlled. It needs less control across the entire mix. Then I heard a tom fill right before verse 2 that doesn't quite sound full enough to me. I want to chase that.
I'm supposed to be. Supposed to be.
Trying to get a Mick Fleetwood tom sound. That was fun. I really wanted that tom fill to sound as caveman and dumb as possible. And there were all these things fighting, and it still sounded too kind of roomy and too sort of bright and brash. I wanted it to just be like, boom. And it still doesn't sound dumb enough to me, but it sounds so much dumber in a good way. Dumb and Dumber, just the way I like it. So I had to like automate down all the room mics, the hi-hat mic, the bottom snare mic. There was a on the acoustic guitar that made the tom sound too bright. It sounded like the tom was making that sound. I took that out. Pretty much took out everything that was playing except the direct tom mic. And that helped give it that just kind of just dumb, just like a little moment, you know, a little more personality. Not so, it still sounds organic to me, but I had to kind of carve into it to get that to speak the way that I wanted it to speak.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I can never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
But right now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm listening very quietly with the dim button on in mono on the NS10s, which I have not turned on once during this mix yet. To me, NS10s are like just, you know, bigger oratones. Listening in mono is just really helpful to me. I still find the mono, even though most consumer units and most TVs and most everything is stereo, are stereo, a lot of things aren't, you know. I just recently bought a Bose Bluetooth thing that you would think was playing in stereo, and it sounded great. It plays in mono. I was listening to some mixes on it, like, where's that crazy wide stereo thing I had happening? I wasn't hearing it. There's still some things that only play back in mono, and just even if everything's stereo, it's a nice objectivity trick to splash of cold water for your brain to just listen to mono and see what's poking through and what isn't. And everything sounded good to me except when we got to the bridge, those answers that Bryce recorded today, they're too quiet. In stereo, they don't sound too quiet, but in mono they do. So I'm going to turn them up.
I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm little lost. I've got something that I can't tell me when I'm not looking. That's right, I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something that I can't tell me when I'm not looking. That's right, I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something that I can't tell me.
Bryce, can you listen to it, please?
Yeah.
Ready?
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I could never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts. 2 weeks to get off my friend's couch. Cutting it close, but I'll be fine. I think I found my dream apartment with all I ever wanted. Turned out it could have been a closet. Feels like nothing's going right. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something that I can't tell me when I'm not looking. That's right, I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Close, right?
Yeah. That bridge into the last chorus feels so good.
Good.
That
Good.
feels so cool.
Yeah, it's a nice gear shift.
Yeah.
Joe Ciccarelli is very graciously letting me use his ATCs. They sound fantastic. Joe did warn me that, I'm just remembering this now, that he had backed off the high end by minus 0.25. And I've got the mix pretty bright right now. It might, in fact, be too bright. Sitting here, it sounds great, but I'm guessing that if he's dialed it back, I'm probably overcooking it in the high end a little bit. But it does sound really good sitting right here.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I could never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number every anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road.
So there's a little going before the pre-chorus. I have no idea why I played that on the drums, but I kept it. With all the EQ I've added, I added some brightness to the overheads. I'm cranking on the mix bus high end, and it was a bit too, why is the drummer doing that? So I just pulled it back a little bit. And now I think I'm going to pull off some of the high stuff on the mix bus, because I'm just guessing that it's too much.
Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts, 2 weeks to get. New city, no doubts, 2 I'm supposed to be. New 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 supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts to. House numbers, zip codes, birthday. House numbers, zip codes, birthday. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply. my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. Little sign, and maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go, and I know I'm where up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I'm pulling down all the open hats because they're a bit too nuts. The closed hats sound great. The open hats are a bit like, beep.
Just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Okay, where is that guy?
Supposed to be. Supposed to be. Be. Supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. Supposed to be.
So I just took out the double and triple on the lead vocal because I want that last beat to just be by itself, alone and lonely. And now I'm going to look at bringing up the level of the Zener from the second chorus on, just to give a little more energy, just to like boost. It's an old George Martin trick to just ride the master fader, turn it up in the choruses. Roy Thomas Baker used to do it really dramatically, and it works. You know, louder usually sounds more exciting. I do it all the time in my mixes. I'll automate louder choruses, wider choruses. I think for this one, we don't really need that kind of stuff because it's sort of built into the track, but I think maybe a little more parallel compression from the second chorus on.
But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something where I'm supposed to be. When I'm not looking, where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. 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 Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. 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 Supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I wanted to boost the keys, which is mostly at that point the grand piano, which was playing a pretty cool little part, kind of gave more buoyancy to the last chorus. And then the second half of that, when we got into the tag and I started playing higher and more kind of pokey chords, it was too much. And I had to figure out what that level was, where it sounded like it matched the earlier, quieter, lower register. And then I was trying to like strip out the ending just to create more space for that final vocal. What was I just going to do? I was going to turn up the lead vocal in the last chorus.
I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
So instead of turning up the actual vocal fader, I turned up the 1176 that I'm sending it to in parallel. And I think that sounded pretty good. Check it out.
I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I love how the lead vocal sounds. This has a bit more energy. It feels different when you turn up the parallel compression on something. It sort of brings up the energy as much as bringing up the volume. I know that sounds all goofy, but it's not just like turning it up. It does a different thing. It feels different. And especially in the final chorus, to me, it just gives it more sort of like, what's happening? What's happening? I feel like I'm being lifted out of my seat a bit. And then I crank the background vocals for the final tag when it's repeating again, the third and fourth time that thing repeats.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes. I can never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts. 2 weeks to get off my friend's couch. Cutting it close, but I'll be fine. I think I found my dream apartment with all I ever wanted. Turned out it could have been a closet. Feels like nothing's going right. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. 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 I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere. see my I suppose I see see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number. 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 I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear it follows me. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see my lucky number. I see 19. I see my lucky number. 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 I see 19. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I swear if I
We're done. For now. But we're done. Come on over, Bryce, please. You ready?
house numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane votes.
I still don't know about the electric guitar in the beginning.
Like any of it.
I think it's just the part. Like, I think it just feels kind of country-esque.
So there's like 5 different guitar parts happening.
It's, can you play it?
Okay, let me sit.
It's that.
Oh, the high thing?
Yeah.
That
It's
actually,
just too
that one
slidey.
bugs me a little bit too. But I like all the other vibey stuff.
No, I like the vibey stuff. I just don't want it to get any, like, cheese in there.
Says the person who lived in Nashville for how many years?
Exactly. That's the point. I know what it sounds like.
Okay. Okay. Is it you? I think it's you. I'm going to turn that up so loud. No.
Just save it and send it to me whenever you want to annoy me.
If I played that in a country band, I'd probably get killed. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So let me just. Here. Is this better?
No,
What?
it's still there.
Well, not the one we were listening to. It's not still there. I mean, I think maybe you're hearing something that kind of goes, "Woo," like one little something. That. You don't like that.
No.
Or that.
Yeah.
Or that. But you don't really hear that in the thing. Hold on.
Love me.
I think I know what to do here. How's this?
House number.
How's this?
Okay.
House numbers.
I like that better.
I like it so much better.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
House numbers, zip codes, birthdays, and airplane rolls. I can never pass them by. I rearrange them, add them up, multiply till I find luck. Anything to call it a sign. And maybe I'm out of my mind. I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. New city, no doubts. 2 weeks to get off my friend's couch. Cutting it close, but I'll be fine. I think I found my dream apartment with all I ever wanted. Turned out it could have been a closet. Feels like nothing's going right. But the second I look at the time, I see my lucky number everywhere I go. And I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. Swear it follows me down every road. Always shows up just when I need to know that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I've got something. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not looking. It's where I'm supposed to be. I see my lucky number. I see my
Bye.
Yeah. I feel good. What are you thinking?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Can you say it again?
I'm not sick of it, which is crazy. Like, you know,
That's great.
I can't believe we did this in 3 days. I seriously cannot. I can't believe. I can't talk.
We did it in 3 days. Do you want to know how many 19s I see right now? There's one right here. This one is there. There's also a bunch of other numbers, but it's the only one I see.
Thank you so much for watching this. This was really a pleasure. Thank you to Bryce, the artist, who is a badass. And like I said at one point earlier in all of this, I can't ever achieve this feeling without partnering up with somebody who's just super talented and can really just lead the charge and be the storyteller and feel believable and feel into it. And it informs and infects in the best way everything. And then this crazy gear in this room, the luxury to mix on this console. I'm not sure I could get it to sound like this in the box without extraordinary patience and trying to replicate what this beast just sort of does naturally. I mean, you know, it can be done, but what's so fun about working on a board like this is it's just sort of like, it kind of looks at me, it's like, okay, what else you got? You know, it just sort of gives me this better version of the music. And I'm rambling and it's 1:30 in the morning and it's been 3 very long days. But thank you so much. Hope you got something out of this. I did. And to be continued. Au revoir.